All right. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another post game here on Rangers Central, and the Rangers lose 3-2 to the Calgary Flames. Um, Not a surprise when you start off flat pretty much every game, and it's not a recipe for success. And once again, they did it, and they lost to a team that they realistically should be beating, but um, they didn't. They didn't at all, and the Flames just absolutely kicked their ass pretty much the entire game. And any chance the Rangers had, it's pretty much the same story as it's been. One and done chances. The Rangers allowing plenty of rushes against oh, by the way, one of the worst teams on the rush in the NHL this season. They allowed as many rush chances as they did against one of the worst teams at generating rush opportunities in the league. I don't know. There's nothing to say that's different from what it's been. It's, again, round and around we go in a spin cycle. The difference in this game, the first line didn't give a solid performance like they did in last game, which doesn't surprise me either, because this is the problem with getting excited when the first line does have a good game. They usually follow it up with a poor performance. That's just typically what they do. We saw it last year, and we saw it again tonight. And that's why, until there's some semblance of consistency, I cannot celebrate when they have a quality game, because Chris Kreider makes me want to put my head through a wall at the amount of missed opportunities that he has. Riley Smith annoys the ever-living shit out of me most nights. And then Mika went back to silent mode after a decent performance. A somewhat decent performance. The second line, as much as they generated offensive opportunities, they're not good in their own end. Terrible. The third line, fourth line, up and down as all hell. Kakko, I don't know what he was doing on that third goal, but Igor also did not play a good game tonight. He should have stopped probably that third goal, and he definitely should have stopped as well the first goal. Not sure what's going on with him, but if he wants $12 million, he's going to need to be a lot better on some of these goals, because some of those should not be going in. But at the same time, it's hard to get entirely mad when he's facing 50 shots, and when this team continues to allow quality opportunities all game long. All game long, they just allow odd man rush opportunities and feed him to the damn wolves. Chances at the back door, turning the puck over because we're just forcing the home run passes. I mean, I can't understand what this team's obsession is with forcing the home run passes. It doesn't work. There was one shift in the first period, I believe it was. Let me check my notes. It was in the first period, I believe, where you have, let me see if I could just find it exactly. I want to find the exact one. Yeah, here it is. So it was in the first period. So Panarin gives the puck up in the offensive zone. Then the Flames come the other way, and they end up getting a puck retrieval, and Trouba's trying to clear it out. Then he gets into a board battle with two guys. Vinny Trocheck's just watching from the blue line because he's trying to cheat for offense, and Trouba coughs the puck up, and it leads to a grade A opportunity for the Flames. You cannot play the game this way. You are not going to win in the postseason this way. I don't think that I'm breaking news to anyone. And we saw this type of play. This is the exact type of play that bit them in the ass last year against Florida, and that bit Florida in their own ass in 2022 when they played that style of hockey. You just cannot do it. And for some reason, this team is obsessed with doing that, and they need to be a hell of a lot better. And will they? I don't know. We're approaching 20 games, and I'm not seeing anything different from this team defensively or anything of that nature to tell me that this is going to be fixed. To me, this is just who they are, which is why I am not getting entirely worked up anymore. Because I'm at a point where, what's the point of getting mad when This is who they are. They're going to win regular season games because of the individual talent we saw. I mean, look at the way they played that second period. They were dog shit that entire second period, and then all of a sudden they net 2 out of nowhere. This team has enough individual talent to where they will find a way to win games in the regular season, and they have enough. And as much as I do think Igor should have had 2 of these goals, I also do think that there is also the fact that he does keep this team in the game most nights. And if it's not him, Jonathan Quick, when he's in that, is. And this team, it's enough to win them in the regular season. But my aggravation comes in because none of the areas that need to be cleaned up are getting cleaned up from last year. And for a team that told us and swore up and down they learned their lesson from Florida, I'm not seeing any lessons learned. I'm seeing, if anything, a ginormous step backwards. And that's a huge problem. It's a very huge problem. And I don't know, because they're just coasting through the regular season. Could it turn on out of nowhere? Sure. But this is the same thing that we were saying in 2022-23, and it never happened. They never got that second gear or whatever we're talking about here, where they turned it up in the playoffs. This is, I don't know. It's just problematic. Just is. And the Flames, thankfully for them, though, I got a little bit of cash because I threw money on them scoring the first goal. That was a no-brainer because Mika Zibanejad and Riley Smith just don't know how to forecheck at all. Just no puck support. And Cooley got caught a little bit high. Both of Smith and Zibanejad were caught high. And then there was a rush against, and the writing was on the wall. That ended up being a goal for Coronado. The second goal was on the power play. And there was the question of the hand pass. I don't have an issue with the call. I really don't, because I thought it just went off of his glove either way. Again, you could debate that. Either way, when you play this way, you don't deserve to win. So I'm not going to sit here and blame the refs. And I get that frustration builds up, but I still don't love the fact that they were talking about it the entire game pretty much to the refs, but whether it was Laviolette or Trocheck who took that late penalty. You got to get your head in the damn game and lock in. You tied the game, and it was a shit call. You think it was a shit call? Who cares? Tied game now. Go out there and focus on winning the damn game. Because complaining to the refs is not going to do you any good. And then that put the Flames right back on the power play, and I thought that was a dumb challenge because why are you putting them back in the game? Or giving them a chance to really step on your throats there when you need to come back. But thankfully they didn't score there. And again, they got those 2 goals late. Lafreniere got a pass there down low. Good forechecking there by Trocheck, who I was ripping on most of the night. Good forecheck though there by him. And then in the later on, Kakko went to face off and a really juicy rebound off Wolf. Ends up getting back to the point. Miller put it on goal. Cooley ended up deflecting it. And then the last goal, again, neutral zone play, wide open. Connor Zary. Kaapo Kakko should have played that better. I don't understand why he's going for the stick check there. It put him in an awkward position. And then he ended up going out towards, or he ended up losing a step on him to not throw the body. But I also do blame Igor because that was at an angle that Igor probably should have stopped it. But either way, again, it's hard to get mad at that entirely when this team in general needs to play a lot better than they are. And they're just not doing it in the D zone. They just are not. And it's a problem every night. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of watching it because it's just the same story every single night. I'm on loop at this point. And I'm on loop saying that I'm on loop with talking about this crap every night. And then it was also hilarious when Sam and Joe were just talking about the entire broadcast. Man, the Rangers still haven't got a power play opportunity. Yeah, well, when you're not touching the damn puck, how do you think you're going to get a power play? Because the Flames controlled that entire first period. Pretty much the entire second period controlled by the Flames. And even parts of the third period. This offense is just way too one and done. They need to start generating way more than they are in terms of applying pressure in the offensive zone, because they're just not doing it enough. And if you can't do it against the Flames, you're not going to be able to do it against good teams. It's just that simple. And that's where my frustration comes in, is that you're playing this type of way against a team that most people view as a non-playoff team. And if they make the playoffs, good for them. But this is a team that's not expecting to make the playoffs. You have way more talent than them. You should be better than them. And you got outworked entirely for pretty much the full 60. It's just annoying. Really is. And I don't know. I mean, there's nowhere to really go from here. And there's no other takeaway to have other than it's the same. Because the only difference is they didn't pull the rabbit out of their ass of winning this game. Because when they tied the game, I was so convinced that they were going to pull a rabbit out of their ass and win this game. And I was going to come here and talk about how they're always the cat that somehow lands on their feet. And they constantly get away with these piss poor efforts and win these games. That's where I thought we were headed when they tied the game. But that didn't happen. I don't know. I've just had enough. Yeah, I'll get to the chat. Leave a like, by the way, if you have not already. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. And if anyone is looking to become a member, I am uploading member content. It is just chilled, laid-back content. You guys could give feedback on what type of content you want me to upload for members only, so I will take feedback there. But again, not a requirement to do that, but I would appreciate it a ton. I shout out to anyone that does do that. Send super chats, anything of that nature. I really do appreciate you. But let's see what you guys are saying in the chat, because I'm sure the chat is on fire right now. Chris Drury, got to get more guys like Will Cooley. I mean, you're seeing it every night. It's the young guys stepping up. It's the young guys stepping up every time. That's what's also annoying. I mean, you look at who scored the goals, and it's the same guys that have been performing consistently. So why does Lavi leave the same guys on the ice for the last 2:30 of the game? Guys that did nothing during the game? Good question. I don't know. Stayed up on a work night for this shit effort. Honestly, it was pathetic. Outside of Cooley and Chessie, the team looked like garbage. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty damn much. And I feel bad for anyone that did stay up that has to be up early tomorrow. Have they beaten a single decent team this season? Toronto, if you want to count that. It's really about it. Vancouver, I would say, is decent, but I also can't say that they played a talented team because they were depleted with a lot of injuries in their top six. Valley cooking them on the post game. I mean, he cooked them after the first period. He was like basically saying how terrible. He was talking about how terrible the effort was after the first period. But he's cooking them in the postgame, saying everything we've been saying about the inability to break the puck out of our own end and the lack of effort in winning puck battles and low effort on D. So negative of him. He's clearly not looking at the record. I don't know why he's talking. He's got to look at the record, and then he'd maybe understand. I'm with you on that it feels the exact same. Truly does. Feels like we're in a time loop here. Crazy. And I agree. I'm not seeing anything with that line. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, Trouba was falling on his ass a lot tonight. This is a conversation that needs to be had, though. As much as I think part of it is Roslovic and Wenberg, who did play like ass in their own right, because you don't get a pass. Like, Jack Roslovic had a wide open net to shoot on in game 6, and he misses it. You don't get a pass. Alex Wenberg had multiple open net opportunities himself. You don't get a pass. But there is something to be said about the fact that guys thrive outside of this organization, but for some reason here, it's a problem. Because Patrick Kane was on a heater right before the Rangers got him. Tarasenko was on a solid little heater right before the Rangers got him. The only guy I could really think of that they've acquired mid-season that really, really like produced well was Vetrano going down the stretch there in terms of just rentals. And there's also Mikkola too, by the way, who freaking was not great here, leaves and wins the Stanley Cup and is one of Florida's best defensemen. Oh, I'm not going to get into that. All right. Laviolette pissed. I never seen him so snappy. What's Laviolette saying? I would love this. I really would, but there's no... I don't think they're going to do this, honestly. I really don't see a world where they're going to actually... I would be surprised, personally, if they do it. I'm not complaining, because I think Chytil would work up there, but I don't know. I would be surprised if they ever moved Mika to the wing. I think Chytil would play on the wing, if anything, if they do that. And yeah, there's never accountability. Nope. Yeah, Cooley's having a breakout. I mean, he's one of the bright spots on a nightly basis. Him, Lafreniere, Chytil when he was healthy, Jones. I mean, Jones didn't play great tonight, but for the most part, Jones. And yeah, this is it, Steven. You get outworked by a team that isn't going to make the playoffs. This leadership group is cooked. When you have your captain coming into the season saying, this is the last dance, saying that to the media is insane work. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, we talk about this every night, and Lindgren's not a NHL defenseman. I was so against bringing him back this offseason, and I got a lot of shit for it, but I can tell you right now, if they let him go at the draft, they could have got some sort of draft capital for him and signed a way better defenseman, and Chris Drury, I would be singing the praises of him for that. Yeah, I would be so annoyed if I were you. Oh, wait, where was the comment I was looking for? Sorry, I scrolled past it. Yeah, this. Yeah, McDavid licking his chops. Oh, he is going to have a field day. I mean, he is going to XP farm the fuck. I mean, double XP weekend. For all my Call of Duty players, you know what I'm referring to. Double XP weekend for him on Saturday, rolling into that game. With the way this team plays in the neutral zone, he is going to eat this team alive. Yeah, I honestly agree with some of you guys in the chat that aren't upset, or that are upset rather, with Edstrom. I'm not seeing a lot from Edstrom either. He started off solid. I haven't seen enough good play from him lately. I haven't seen enough. And I said last post game that I do think there's a world where they move, not him, but they make a move to acquire a fourth line center or just help on the fourth line and then put him in the press box or down in Hartford. I wouldn't rule it out. I really wouldn't. Lindgren and Trouba on the ice when McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard is on the ice. Good night. Yeah. Hashtag see you tomorrow with the Pops gif is going to be a tweet within the first minute. Yeah. McDavid's got chicken wings, fried catfish, yams. He's got so much cornbread, man. They'll bring back Tyler Mott to shut people up. Hey, that will shut me up. I'm only half kidding about that. Yeah. Yeah, that honestly, the most entertaining part of this game was watching the Flames not able to score on the empty net. That was honestly the most entertaining part of this game. That's what's sad. Patrick Nemeth will come to save the day. I'm so excited, man. Can't wait for them to make a phone call to Justin Braun from the retirement home to get him to come back. The big bad Chris Drury going for round 2 with Vetrano and Mott. Yeah, don't forget Zegras will get a spot saved. I want to see what is Laviolette said in the post game so far, because I'm curious. Someone said that he looked pissed or sounded pissed, whatever it was. Not that it matters because he's been pissed before and his team doesn't do anything differently. So who gives a fuck? Laviolette kept it short after tonight and called out his team's effort to begin the game. We got outworked. They were better than us in the first. Laviolette, especially upset about no call on the hand pass. He opened up his hand to play the puck. He goes to grab it and it bats off his hand and goes right to their player. It got called dead 2 more times this game. The exact same plays. Whatever. Laviolette moving Kakko to center. It's something that we've talked about. The opportunity presented itself, so we went with it tonight. He was good. He played center prior to getting to the NHL. He's pretty good in the faceoff circle, and they produced a goal for us. Well, I don't really care about all that, but whatever. Yeah, I can't wait for the Mets to come back at this point. Rangers continue to struggle when I'm in Disney World. Maybe I have to go back. They kicked the Panthers' ass one time when I was there. Maybe I'm just the issue and I gotta go back. On the bright side, it's still early. I'm trying to be positive. I would get behind that if this was year 1, 2. Maybe even 3 of the score. Maybe even 3. But we're so beyond that. They play 2 more games during my trip. I mean, we'll see what happens then. I honestly have very low expectations going into Edmonton, considering they're playing the way they've been playing. Edmonton's gonna freaking annihilate them, man. Like, unless Igor or Quick, whoever starts that game, puts on an absolute clinic, I don't know. I don't see it personally. Assuming they continue to play this way, which more likely than not they will. Yeah, this is it. 18 games into, what is this, year 5 of this core? They are what they are, man. This is year 5 or 6. I mean, it depends where you want to start counting it, but yeah. This is just who they are. And the leaders on this team just... The leadership group is just terrible. Should be called New York inconsistency. And this is the problem with blaming Laviolette. As much as Laviolette has made questionable decisions at points, this is where I have a hard time saying that it's solely on him. 3 coaches, same issues. Slow starts. Terrible neutral zone play. Terrible D zone play. At some point, falls on the core, the leaders, lack thereof, I should say, and the general manager for not doing enough to tweak around these issues. Great leaders are guys you would follow into battle. These leaders I wouldn't even follow into a grocery store. You know who's a leader I would follow? Patrick Mahomes. No, but seriously, all jokes aside, I had to sneak in a Collinsworth jab in there because I know Nico's in the chat right now, but yeah, I wouldn't even. I wouldn't trust these leaders in anything. No, Mahomes. I know. I know Nico's in the chat, and it kills him every time I do the Collinsworth voice. So I had to. Yeah, I had to do it. I had to do it. He said I'd do it spot on. I don't know if I think I'm missing a little bit with the Collinsworth voice, but I know he's here, so I had to sneak in a little Collinsworth reference. And that was just my best opportunity, too. Why are you dragging Heedle across the country if he's not playing? Makes no sense. Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, maybe he's going to play the next game. I don't know. Collinsworth. I'm not excited to be hearing that all Sunday night. You already know if Jahan Dotson makes a play. Now, here's a guy in Jahan Dotson who doesn't get a lot of opportunities here in South Philadelphia because of the fact that they got so many weapons here for Jalen Hurts to work with. I'm just not excited for that shit. When does Mika's no movement clause go into effect? I hate telling good people bad news, but it's in effect. That's the problem. That's really fucking good. I can't lie. I think I'm missing something with it. Like, I start to run out of breath when I'm doing that. I need to post these to TikTok. I'll go viral. That's actually a shout. I need to just abandon my Rangers account on TikTok and just upload Chris Collinsworth impersonations. Chris Collinsworth goes to the grocery store. Now, here's a guy who's in the grocery store, can't decide what he wants to cook for dinner tonight. You know who would make the right decision here? Patrick Mahomes. On a serious note, do the Rangers need to make a big trade like the Panthers to get them over the hump? Yes, I've been saying for a while they need to make a culture shocking change, and they haven't done it. They have not done it, and I don't think they are going to do it. That's the problem. Because it's a long overdue. At this point, I don't think it's going to happen. Is there a point where it's a partial no move clause? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I mean, I could fact check that, but yeah, no. Full no move. Great. Oh, 7 days prior to the 2030 deadline. Turns into a limited. Oh my fucking god, that's hilarious. Chris Collinsworth goes for a colonoscopy. I'm trying to think. How would I how would I conduct that one? I don't know. I it's hard to like narrate himself. I don't know. I gotta think. How could I spin this one? Now here's a guy in Chris Collinsworth who needs to go for a colonoscopy, and you know what? He's afraid to do it, but you know who wouldn't be afraid in these situations? Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. That's the best I got for you on that one. By the time Zibanejad has no movement clause turns into a limited, no trade clause, Gabriel Perreault will be 25 years old and isn't even playing for us yet. That's how long it takes. Yikes. Yeah, so Gabe will be in his prime by the time he could potentially be moved. That's just great. Can I do a Collinsworth impression about this core? Do you like have someone specifically you want me to talk about from this core? I don't know. I mean, this core year after year in Manhattan just really struggles to get it done. I mean, with the leader they have in Jacob Trouba, I mean, he's no Patrick Mahomes leading the charge. Patrick Mahomes would get this team in check and would get them to win a Stanley Cup. I mean, just watching them year after year fail kind of reminds me of the Dallas Cowboys with the way that they just constantly fail to come up short in the playoffs. I don't know. That's all I got for you. I don't know. Lindor will be 36. Oh my god, that just made me want to vomit. Collinsworth getting chased by a homeless man inside Penn Station. Now, here's a guy that's trying to chase me down and get me with a knife, and you know, the way that he's running around and finding the holes to chase me down in just kind of reminds me of Patrick Mahomes in the pocket, and the way that he just finds gaps to get the ball, sling it into the receiver's hands. I mean, he just finds options he didn't know that were out there. And the same thing is happening with this homeless man. I mean, you just gotta watch the show. You don't need to hear from me. Just watch the way he's going after me. Now here's a guy, the go-to. All right, I think I've had enough of Collinsworth for the night. I'm sorry if anyone wants me to keep going. I'm sure people in the chat are getting annoyed by it. As much as it's getting me at least to get my mind off of this game. Yeah, unless they could like bully Mika out. I mean, it's never gonna end here. But I am going to wrap the post game up here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one.